We are now talking with Holmberg about their FlexBind process, and here to tell us more is Ben Carroll, the product manager. Ben, what can you tell us about this?
Thanks, Paul. FlexBind is an innovative new technology that Holmberg has developed for creating lay-flat books without actually changing any of the processes used to make books today. We incorporate the FlexBind technology onto the paper by actually adding a converted hinge onto the sheet before it's printed. FlexBind is not a binding system. It's not a new way to bind books to make them lay flat. It's actually using the traditional binding that most places already use for their photo book production. But in this case, what we've done is we've incorporated a hinge onto the sheet before it's even printed. So we actually make a small gap in the paper, and we apply a toner or an electro ink receptive laminate over that to reinforce it. And so you load it into your printer tray like you would normal paper. You print on it with the same settings that you used before, and you bind it with the same binding system you did before. But now, since it has a hinge already on the sheet, the pages will lay flat. And what that allows us to do is we can use heavyweight papers, pearlized papers, papers that you would never use in photo books normally. Now, since it's got a hinge on it, these heavyweight, sometimes even 14-point thick pages, which is heavier than most cardstock, will lay totally flat in a photo book. And the upside is that the place making the books, usually a pro lab, making those books doesn't have to do anything different. They just print out of a different drawer than they were before. Now, what we've done that won us the DIMA award winner was we took a new paper, which is very new to the U.S. market. It's manufactured by Felix Scholler, and it's a photo luster paper, which, when printed with the HP Indigo digital press, gives the appearance of an actual silver halide type photo, but it's actually digitally printed. And what we've been able to do is incorporate our FlexBind technology onto that paper, and it really makes just a stunning, absolutely gorgeous photo book. And everybody is pushing towards the gold standard of silver halide. So this actually pushes that envelope a little further.
But the FlexBind, what it is, it's working with existing papers that normally wouldn't be able to be bound into a book because they'd be too stiff, they'd always be pointing up. The FlexBind is in some ways a mechanical addition to those papers. And with this addition, there is in effect slightly less printing area, but it can go into the same printer, same printing trays, requires no other equipment changes or anything else.
Exactly. And when you say slightly less, I mean, you're talking, anywhere between an eighth to a quarter inch less.
Right, and it's area that would be obscured by the binding on the full-size paper anyhow.
Exactly.
It does sound like an excellent innovation there.
We're crazy about it, obviously, but we might be a little bit biased. But no, we're finding that the pro photographers and the pro labs have absolutely gone crazy for it. It's really filled in a very nice niche. You still have your very expensive flush mount, which most of those are still being made silver halide and selling for hundreds and hundreds of dollars from the pro labs in some cases. Then you've got your kind of low end, just plain paper, side sewn type of book. And then where FlexBind comes in is like right in the middle. It's hitting a really nice sweet spot where somebody is buying one really nice high-end album, flush mount, and then they'll buy, and that's for the bride and groom. Then they'll buy, 4, 5, 6 even, kind of mother-in-law books, they call them. Or, they'll give everybody in the wedding party, a FlexBind book. It's still very heavyweight, very high quality, but it's not going to cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars like that one flush mount book that is offered. Another feature I should just throw out there is that at Holmberg, we've been working for over 50 years with digital printers and making sure that our converted products work well in the digital presses, which is lost by a lot of the products out there. One of the things we've done is we've actually taken the film and we compress it into the paper, so it's totally flat. Normally, if you just laminated, just a little strip on the edge, it would be thicker right there. So if you put, 500 sheets in your feed drawer, you can imagine it would be much thicker on that side versus the other side where there's only paper. So by us pressing the film into the paper, it allows, the stack is totally flat. There's no stack bias, we call it. And you can fill your feed drawers just like you normally would. It really is just like printing on paper.
All right, that all sounds great. Thanks, Ben.
Fantastic.